Coal seam mining is relatively new in Australia, but according to some well-respected Australians, already it's proven to be a dangerous cowboy industry.
Coal seam gas, a natural gas extracted through drilling a well or a bore from the surface into the coal seam, and then encasing the bore in high-strength steel and cement to prevent communication between different formation layers. Through this procedure, the pressure within the coal is reduced, allowing methane to be released from the coal in the form of a gas. In Australia, commercial production of coal seam gas began in 1996 in the Bowen Basin. Since then, the production of coal seam gas has grown rapidly, with Queensland now producing 90% of coal seam gas production. It was the decision in 2000 by the Queensland government that drove coal seam gas production to a rapid state. It was required that 13% of all power supply to the electricity grid be generated by gas by 2005. It has now grown to 18%.
Coal seam gas is a newly emerging industry in this country. It's full of new opportunities.
The government has signed deals with gas companies worth up to $100 billion.
Coal seam gas was highly regarded as being an economical, eco-friendly and a great supply of energy. However, with the expansion of the coal seam gas industry, a lot of these remarks are being questioned. Many are claiming New South Wales and Queensland governments have acted irresponsibly and too hastily, approving coal production. In the case of coal seam gas production, it is being doubted that its assessment was done correctly, due to the lack of scientific analysis on its impact to the environment. The production will lead to food security risks, will ruin rural communities and lead to pollution of underground aquifers.
The ground as fast as they can. They're going to sell it to China and India and so on as cheap as they can, and they're going to leave your area an industrial wasteland.
Coal seam gas has been accused of polluting groundwater. In the process of coal seam production, water may be required to be pumped for up to 6 months before the gas is produced. The water pumped in some cases can affect the ecosystem through damaging surface water quality and underground water when being discarded along with dissolved salt and other chemicals. With surface owners in Australia not owning mineral rights underneath their property, the production of coal seam gas becomes a real issue to rural communities, living near these coal seam gas mining industries as they depend on their water supplies for crops, livestock and their economy.
When you light it, it does this.
With their family farm now an industrial zone, even selling up isn't much of an option.
So if we were to put our properties on the market tomorrow, who in their right mind is going to buy it?
Biodiversity is also at threat. There are woodland vegetation such as the Filiga forest that also depend on groundwater and would also bear repercussions from contaminated water.
Kate runs a wildlife sanctuary on 15 acres near the Western Downs tiny town of Tara. She resisted moves to put a well on her property, so the gas company simply built one across the road.
Due to this, the Independent Expert Scientific Committee is preparing bioregional assessments for all areas where coal seam gas is plant. In these assessments, ecology, hydrology and geology and potential risks will be examined. In addition to this, a Bill for the Environment Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Amendment has been passed in March 2013, which is designed to protect water resources from coal seam gas and large coal mining developments as a matter of natural environment significance. Groundwater models have been placed to predict the extent of water levels that will be reduced by changes in underground pressure gradients due to coal seam extraction. For this method to work, however, mapping and characterization of the hydraulical properties of the underlying stratigraphy must be accurate. Coal seam gas is considered to be a natural gas helping with greenhouse gas emissions. However, for coal seam gas to help reduce emissions, the methane would have to be burned directly to replace coal-fired electricity. This is not the case. Often it is suggested to liquefy the gas and transport it long distance, which would in turn use much of its energy. If the gas is then converted into electricity, it will then be throwing away another 2/3 of the energy. In terms of greenhouse emissions, methane will inevitably leak into the atmosphere from gas production, eroding the greenhouse effects as it is a potent greenhouse gas. There is not enough research of coal seam gas to greenhouse emissions. Government has just recently introduced the National Greenhouse and Energy Reporting Act. Industries under this act must now report emissions produced from the coal seam gas industries and other alternative energy supplying companies. The approach of this act is to enhance accuracy of emissions measurements from energy productions.
and a much cleaner future.